The following is a fictitious episode in the lives of two make-believe hobos. The characters and events you hear are not real. Don't freak out.
Hey! No, we don't want to play with you. Take that back.
Yeah, we're lifting weights, man.
That is deflated anyway. It's a kickball, not a basketball.
I said back off.
Yeah! Get his ass, quick. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
They call me the Mad Dog of Cook County.
Yeah, and we know that you're not getting to the nurse until Friday, so you go ahead and you nurse that wound, and you think about coming over here again. Look at those chompers, and you think
Who
about
needs
that.
knives when I've got these?
Yeah, exactly. That's all. That goes for all of you. And Enrico, you owe us some freaking, some cigarettes, man. Neither of us smoke, but we're going to use those as collateral. We need to bargain.
Yo, I need money, man.
Jesus.
ASAP.
We need some snacks. We need some snacks from that place.
Damn.
Hey. Hey there.
Who knew that prison life would just be such a, work? It's like a chore.
It's like a chore. It's like high school. It's like we're in the cafeteria all the time. It's just ridiculous. Hey, what's up? We're the Boxcar Buddies. I'm Don.
I'm Greg.
We're in Peoria prison. We were not able to get out. Last week we had a bond hearing, and it did not go well. And so now we're in here for the foreseeable future until they can find us a public attorney.
Yeah.
So Greg and I have been here for the last week, and we're kind of making the best of it, I think.
I think we are. We've been given some nice jumpers to relax in. Kind of sucks because they still haven't given me my arms, so I've got two little flaps just flying in the wind.
Yeah, it doesn't fit Greg wonderfully, but they're made of hemp. I kind of like the feeling on the shoulders, like the rub, and it though it is annoying, it is a little nice having a room to sleep in every night, even though it's a
I guess
9 by 12, whatever
you
it is.
snore, man.
Yeah, I do. Well, it's the the pillows. There's not a lot of support, and my neck just goes back, and just everything falls back on itself. I can't. Yeah.
It's more of like a.
Oh, really? Whoa.
Like you sound like you're summoning something from hell. I've woken up in a cold sweat thinking that the demons have finally found their pay.
Yeah,
and it's just you dreaming and then doing that thing that puppies do when they're sleeping.
Well, yeah, I do have the dreams about running after the taco trucks, but also my dad was a necromancer and had sleep apnea, so it just that's probably it's been passed
runs
down,
in the family.
Yeah, so that's.
I would not be surprised if I woke up one day and there was just a disembodied head flying around waiting for your commands.
Hey, if we can get it to do stuff, that's what I'm talking about.
Tricks?
Yeah.
Or it could give us head.
Oh, now you're talking. And we could sell it. We could sell it to these other inmates too, the services.
Depends on how good it is. Depends on top quality head.
What? Hey, this is prison, man. This is Peoria prison. The bar is low.
Yeah, it's pretty low. I always heard the scary stories of the Cook County prison, but you know what?
This is pretty chill. I mean, the grounds are well kept. There's no dirt spots, patches. It's
the dumbbells are actually in pretty good condition. Check this out.
Oh yeah. Bite that thing. Oh, the lower back lifts. Gotta be careful with that, though. Your neck is going to get really jacked. The back of your neck is going to get really jacked up.
I can't really work on my arms right now, man.
I
it's
know.
Legs and neck.
Do some lunges. Yeah, you've been doing the lunges. I see that. And,
yeah, I've been lunging after the prisoners.
And come soccer time, you are crushing it. You are running all over that field.
I'm like a snake.
Legs are, yeah. Your legs are getting shapely, too, I have to say. I noticed that. It's nice.
Noticing the bulge in the back of my legs.
That calf, yeah. And it helps that, for whatever reason in Peoria prison, they actually shave the inmates' legs. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's the only part of the body they shave.
I don't know what the deal is with that. And they do.
That's just what the guy told me. Like one of the guards, I think his name was Brad. He's just gotta shave your legs. And he was like, "I'll do it for you."
Yeah,
and he
and it wasn't even an offer. It was an immediate gotta shave the legs, get your leg up on the box. There was a little crate there, and then he's got a razor real quick, and he's just like, "Let's go."
I gotta say, he worked his hands real fine with me.
Fast though.
But
Disturbingly
he made sure he got every nook and cranny, and I was surprised I had no cuts.
Yeah,
the hair's been growing in kind of okay.
Yeah,
it's just don't know. Peoria's weird.
It's a strange sensation. I've never felt that myself. It's also weird that our prison uniforms are capri pants. You know, they're sort of halfway down the shin. So I don't know if it's maybe that's why they shave the legs. I don't understand.
Maybe they're trying to showcase who's new and who's not. The hairier the leg, the longer they've been there. Like, look at him.
Oh God!
Holy shit!
Reg, what's happening there?
I can't shave. I can't shave.
Go away.
Okay, Reg. He's so disturbing. He's so disturbed.
I don't like him.
That guy is so disturbed.
His legs look like two bushes made of hair.
Yeah, it's like he's walking around with Muppets attached to the bottom of his
He
knees.
looks like that Muppet. You know, the big brown one.
Yeah, he does. The bottoms of his legs do. Like he borrowed those from that guy. So yeah, that's what Greg and I have been up to. We've just been kind of, hanging in here. Haven't really had, again, it's prison, so not a lot of opportunity to absorb content. We just kind of have been...
We have our ways, though.
Yeah.
I know I had a way.
What did you do? What is this?
Well, so Freak came by to give me a visit, just during visiting hours.
God damn it.
Yeah, do you
No
not...
one came to visit me. No, my visiting hours are spent in the cell. Good.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
Good for you. I'm gonna next time I get to use the phone, though, I'm gonna make a little call to Mr. Freak. Have a talk about that.
I mean,
if he's coming here, I might as well.
I mean,
say
I think
something
it's
to him.
always been obvious who Freak prefers. Me? I mean, he does let me stay at the Free Clinic.
Yeah, well, recently, only since you've been in prison has he made that offer again, because he had you booted from there for a good long while because of some of the shenanigans that you've done over there.
You call them shenanigans, I call them good fun havigans.
Which is not catching on. No matter what you say, that's not going to catch on.
I will make it catch on.
So
it works.
All right.
Like, hey, Toby, what are you having? Tell me.
Fun havigans.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Toby is severely impressionable. You can suggest anything, and that guy's going to give it to you.
Can I leave?
No! Sit there. We're not done with you, Toby. But, so what did you and Freak talk about, though?
Oh, so Freak came by, and he had my Switch on his hand.
Ugh.
So I was like,
This just gets better and better.
man, just give it to me. Just put it in front of me. We had a good, solid 8 hours.
What? 8-hour visit?
The guards really like cigarettes, man.
That's the other thing about here in Peoria. It's a little bit lax with the protocols, I have to say. 8-hour
works for
visit.
me.
8-hour visit, like, oof. I gotta find somebody to come
I mean, it
visit
was
me.
real easy. All I had to do was say to the guard, I was like, hey. And I gave him like a whole carton of Parliaments, and I'm like, you wanna leave me be for a while?
A carton of Parliaments.
Carton. It's very easy to get your hands on them. You just order a bake.
A bake?
Yeah, like a cake.
Huh.
Then you put your hand through the cake, and there's 2 cartons of cigarettes.
Oh, that's
Why do you think I've had so much cake?
That's why everybody here's ordering cake all the time. I wondered. I was like, there's not that many birthdays in this place. Like, there's not.
Dude,
enough
you think
people.
I'm gonna put things in my ass? No. That place is sacred, and there's only exit only. So, yeah, Freak had my Switch on hand, and I was very happy.
Yeah, that's
very,
nice.
very happy.
That's a nice change.
He came by, and he was very disgruntled. He was almost,
Typical.
just grumpy, like, of course you're in jail now. I can't even do my Freak impression so good anymore because I barely see him now.
Not enough time with the guy. Yeah, I get it.
Oh, Greg, blah, 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 blah,
There you go.
blah, blah. My Switch.
That's getting better.
That's free.
Yeah.
Blah, blah. I bring my Switch to my friend Greg because he does so much for me and I always take him for granted.
Yep. Sure enough, Freak. You're
Yeah,
right. You do.
that's how it is, Freak.
Idiot.
Jerk.
But yeah, so he brought you the Switch.
So I brought my Switch over, which was great. I just popped the little handlebar thingy that helps prop it up. I grabbed the Joy-Cons, and I searched through the games, and I was like, I have all these games that I received from the Rave Man a few weeks ago for doing all those dirty jobs for him.
Yes.
And lo and behold, I'm like, ooh, I think it's about time I get my hands a little naughty.
What did you behold?
Oh, I beheld something. A great, grand, powerful wizard of the Umbra.
The Umbra?
I'm talking about Bayonetta 2.
Bayonetta. Duh.
Bayonetta did twice.
Wow.
Yes.
You got yourself some glasses and some leather?
Yeah, like the world's most kick-ass librarian.
Yeah.
Everything that I love. Video games, guns, and slapping horses' asses.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Obscene humor and some over-sexualized action.
Incredibly over-sexualized.
Good Bayonetta stuff.
It's just, think of Devil May Cry, but just make Dante have boobs, and there's, like, no difference.
And they're constantly shaking. Those boobs are constantly shaking.
Well, this time around, Bayonetta's new design, I like a fuck ton more than the first game.
Did you say new design or nude design?
Well, her new design stays the same
Pretty
every
good.
single time
A
she
classic.
throws the hair out.
Right. It's a classic.
It's a classic.
Right.
But when with her new design, she has like a pixie cut. She's got more, like she's got a lacy top that like covers the breasts, and I'm like, you know what? That's good.
Tasteful.
There's class to this. There's much more class and thought
Tasteful.
put into her design.
Yeah.
I like that her guns are blue, like this nice blue color.
Little color change. I like it.
She looks 1,000 times better than her original game's design. I didn't really like the first Bayonetta's design. The stupid like
Top of the hair
cream
pony.
hair.
Yeah. Okay. I get it. Pixie cut
just-
is nice.
Yeah, I like and I didn't like her like big belts on her arms with the hair sticking out of them.
Fair. That's a fair point.
I was
yeah.
like, that's kind of
It was, yeah, but again, it was heavy Devil May Cry design, as you said.
Well, of course,
like,
because it was fucking Hideki Kamiya.
yeah,
the guy
exactly.
Who created,
but it sounds like this is more feminine and standing alone in its own way than.
yes.
Okay.
So Bayonetta 2 takes place almost directly after the first game. If you've listened to the podcast before, you know that I've talked about the first game.
Yep.
I think it's fun, but it's got a lot of problems. I think one of the biggest problems it had is that there are a shit ton of instant death quick time events, and you have such little time to actually input to combat those.
Yes.
Every single time you die or use items in Bayonetta, just like in Devil May Cry, your score gets deducted heavily for every single time you do that. And 90% of my deaths through the first game are from, I didn't hit B fast enough.
Right, exactly.
I didn't hit B at a fraction of a millisecond.
Yeah, because they don't give you a lot of time
No.
to take the action during those little cutscene things. Yeah.
The first game can be brutal because Bayo doesn't really feel very fluid with her like combos. This game, though,
Yeah?
I put it at the same caliber as Devil May Cry 3.
Ooh.
And that's high praise for me.
Yeah.
Because DMC 3, I think,
Loved
is the
it.
best of the Devil May Cry series.
Yeah.
Bayo 2, I want to say it's like at that same level.
Wow.
It feels so good to control.
Now, are you putting that up with Devil May Cry 3 just based on the combat, or is that like sort of everything overall?
It's like the everything, because I
Nice.
think Bayo 2 has way better level design. It doesn't constantly recycle the same 4 maps like the first Bayo.
Yep.
There are way better weapons to use, and the amount of different combinations that you can do with your weapons is really, really fun.
Nice.
And the story is way more involved and funnier, and it isn't slow as a fucking baby crawling.
Right.
So this takes place maybe like 2 or 3 months after the first game. Bayo's got all of her memories back. She defeated her evil father. Her best friend Jean is no longer being mind controlled, and the two of them are having a great time. She's
stuff.
off Christmas shopping with her friends when all of a sudden angels start attacking. Oh. And she's like, gotta beat up the angels as usual.
Darn it.
But then, after summoning one of her demons, her demon attacks her and kills Jean.
No.
So, the plot this time around is to go to this... It's so weird. Go to this, like, Latin American country that has a German-sounding town name. It's like Fimbulverten.
Oh.
Who cares?
in Colombia.
Who cares? This is how Bayonetta works.
Yeah.
The specifics, who gives a shit?
Just shrug it off.
The point is, it's fun.
Yeah, exactly.
But her goal is to go to hell, find Jean's soul, and save it in a short amount of time before her soul is permanently stuck in hell. Meanwhile, she's starting to realize, oh, demons are starting to fuck around, and like fucking around with me, who I have a literal contract with, because witches work alongside demons, because that's part of their MO. Like, the Lumen Sages are warriors of the light. They summon angels. Umbra witches summon demons. And then everyone in the middle, chaos that's human.
Yes.
So Bayo has to save Jean, and she meets a little boy named Loki who...
Keeps it low-key.
Yeah, he does. Good one.
Good boy.
Good one.
Good boy.
Good boy. He pats him on the head. He transforms into a chipmunk.
Oh! Fun.
So, like, this game's story is similar to the first game because it's about characters that have lost their memories, but it's way more palatable this time around because Bayo is just kind of along for the ride, but she very much has in mind, like, I gotta save Jean. That's numero uno on the plan.
Gotcha.
But I'm gonna help this little boy that throws tarot cards around. The little boy is a lot like Cereza from the first game, like the little girl.
Yep.
But this time he can actually protect himself, and he magically turns into a chipmunk and goes away if there are way too enemies on screen. So you never have to do these stupid fucking like escort missions like the first game.
That's great.
That automatically makes Bayo 2 a better game.
Totally. Having to escort that little girl in that first game was torturous.
And there are a ton of missions, like the side missions that pop up in levels so you can get like extra health and magic.
Yeah.
There are a ton of those missions where you have to protect Cereza. And I'm like, no.
Yep.
No.
It's horrible. And then you end up, she would end up dying, and then you'd have to just start it over again.
Yep.
Like it's just
not fun.
A lot of a time sink.
Most
really.
of them were like, oh, look, water's rising and it's electrical, so you have to grab Cereza, move her to a different part of the room.
Right.
But then you have to pick her up again, and it's not fun.
Yeah.
Not fun. That's been fixed this time around. There's none of that bullshit.
Guy gets himself out of the way.
Yeah.
Little boy does. I like that.
And the fact that they got rid of those dumbass fucking instant kill QuickTime events. It's
Also,
just a better game
Very
now.
nice. Very nice.
Combat is so good. I love the weapons that are in Bayo 2. You get the swords again, but they're dual swords this time. You get chainsaw swords.
Whoa.
You get... What are some of the other things I got? I got a whip. I got a giant hammer.
Oh, man.
My favorite weapons are the swords, the chainsaw swords, the standard blue guns,
Yep.
and the scythe.
Oh, a
The
scythe.
is
Yeah.
it's a 3-bladed scythe where it can also shoot the blades.
Whoa.
There's so much more to do in combat. And the other thing that I really love in this game, so in the first Bayonetta, you had a magic meter. The way it worked, though, was once it was filled, you could perform what's called a torture attack, which was basically like kind of like an instant kill, like QTE thing that you could do to some enemies. It was ineffective and worthless with bosses.
Oh, yeah. Just total waste.
Just complete fucking waste of time. You could learn skills that would use your magic meter, but they were never really that useful against bosses. This time around, the torture attacks are still around, but now you can essentially go into devil trigger mode with Bayo's weapons.
Oh, cool.
So depending on the weapon that you have equipped, going into it's called like Umbra Limit mode, you basically make every single weapon you have like fucking screen sized. So those scythes, they turn into the size of most of the bosses you fight and just
go across the entire
screen, cut things to pieces. It stuns enemies. It can stop their attacks.
Fun.
If you go into like witch time, which is when if you dodge at the very last moment of an attack, time slows down. It gives you like 3 seconds to hit something real good. You do that in Umbra mode. Ooh,
Look
it's
out.
so good. It's so good.
I love a large weapon. You know, like with a limit break style like that. Like you just said, like I love when you fire that thing, the feeling of relief of just like a momentary like, yes, my enemy is about to get swept out of my way.
It just feels so good to control this time around. There's still a bit of an issue with dodge being on the same button as transform into a panther, which I think is really... That can fuck with you in combat sometimes. Not a whole lot. You do get a bunch of new animal forms this time around, which are fun.
Great.
There's a bunch of water levels, so you can turn into a snake.
Oh, yeah.
And so the game highly encourages you to explore now, whereas the first game did not really do that.
Yeah,
it's the same problem with the first Devil May Cry. Like, I love Kamiya. He's probably my favorite game director. He's made some of my absolute favorite games of all time. But when it comes to the action-style game, like Bayo and Devil May Cry, he makes the worst version. And then someone else comes in and makes the better version.
Right, with like slight tweaks to his kind of like established stuff.
Yeah, they take what he had in concept and they're like, we're just going to make this better.
Right.
And that's what happened with Devil May Cry. Like, Devil May Cry 1, like that was a PS2 classic. It's like a PS2 launch title.
Yeah, I remember when that console came out, that was there.
For its time, it was dope. Now, it stinks.
Yeah, it's not fun to play with stuff like that.
No.
With because you have better options out there. You've seen better, style.
Yeah. Bayo 1, I don't think it's aged as poorly as from, like, Devil May Cry 1 to Devil May Cry 3. But if I had to pick, I would never, ever play Bayo 1 ever again.
Yeah, it sounds like 2's a lot better. Yeah.
There's no point in playing Bayo 1 anymore unless you want, like, the full story, which is good. It's still playable, and if you get the Switch version, if you buy one version, you get the other one at, like, an allotted price. So, like, say you want... If you want to buy both games, you can get them physically, and it will be like $60 or something like that.
Yeah, and if you're in it for the story, you can keep the level of the game easy and blow through the thing. Like it's not that tough.
And well, like the first game was tough, even on normal, it was fucking tough. This time around, normal feels right.
Oh, okay.
It feels like it's balanced. Like enemies still can hit you like a truck. I got through a majority of the game. I think I'm maybe like 4 or 5 chapters away from ending it. And I'm great. Like, I've been able to find challenges. I've been able to find, like, hidden witch hearts and black pearls. Whereas in the first game, I had to buy those. I sans buying techniques because I couldn't survive.
Yeah.
The fact of so many bullshit, like, oh, here comes the missile. Oh, you're dead.
Yeah, it's just too...
Like, oh, you didn't hit X in time. Oh, bye.
Right, I know. Well, because it's like, you're in the middle of a fight or you're moving around, and then all of a sudden it's like a cut scene, so like it's video from you moving around.
And it could be like a good 2 minutes, and then all of a sudden it decides last second, oh, you're gonna die now.
Exactly. It's not like you go from action to it's a cutscene, but then the action's immediate. No, they show you video, there's dialogue, and then after, as Greg said, like after time passes, so you kind of relax and you're just watching the video, then they'll throw in like an action requirement from you, which will kill you if you don't take it. So it can be very frustrating that.
It's bullshit a lot of the time. This time around, nope, it's gone.
I like that.
They still have like the button mashy parts, but it doesn't feel as demanding. Because the first game, like, you really have to hammer whichever button to give like a better bonus to your final attacks.
Right.
This time around, it's like, nope, you did it. Good
job.
You did it.
Well done.
You smashed the button good enough, and we made it fast because hitting buttons real fast doesn't mean you're good.
Right.
I mean,
as
like,
anyone who's played combat games knows.
In combat games with QTEs, if you just hit the same button over and over again, like really, really hard, it's not skill. It's understanding the opponents, understanding your area, understanding how you're going to fight shit. And this game does it flawlessly. It constantly throws you into new environments. There will be times where you're fighting underwater. There are times where you're fighting in the air. Like, Bayo grows wings, and you fly around fighting things. Yeah. And it doesn't feel awkward to control because they don't make enemies change the level that they're at when they're flying around. It's essentially, it's like you're fighting on the ground, but this time it just looks fucking cool.
Yeah.
Because you're flying.
Right, but there's no change in the dynamic of the fight.
No.
Right.
And the camera will move around on its own slowly so you get a full scope of what's happening.
Lovely.
It never felt jarring to play around. I fucking love it.
Yeah, it sounds like a blast.
It is hands down like one of my favorite action games, period.
It sounds like exactly what you want from a sequel of an action game, is that it kept the things that worked, and it improved, it got rid of things that sucked, and improved upon the things that you loved from the first game.
Yeah.
New animal forms, new weapons like that, new fighting areas, like, that's all great.
And then I'm ready for that secret boss fight with Rodane again. I want to fight Rodane again. That big husky voice, I need to hear him just be like, perfect. Beautiful.
Yeah. That was good.
I mean, he's in Smash too, so I'm like, oh man, Rodane.
That's right. He is in Smash. Yeah, he's everybody's in, to be fair.
Everyone's in Smash.
Everyone's in Smash now.
Let's be real. Who isn't in Smash? Bugs Bunny,
Bugs Bunny,
Mickey Mouse,
Disney characters. Yeah.
Sora. Do you think Sora will? Sora. I don't think any other like Square Enix character will show up in Smash
Probably not.
because Square sucks.
People are hating. Square is, and rightfully so. I'm not saying it's
Square's
like
being mega shitty lately.
Yeah. It's their. It's. I mean, they've been around doing good things for a long time. I get it, but like these lately, I just feel like the press around them is pretty negative.
It's like, hey, you keep releasing really shitty ports of great games and charging a lot of money for them,
And leaving out a game that everyone loves and would love to play, but you refuse to port it to a new system. Fuck that. That would be Final Fantasy VIII. That's what I'm talking about.
it'll never happen.
They leave it on the side of the road to just feel dejected as its brethren get ported to new systems.
Hey, do you want Final Fantasy VIII to go through the same treatment that 5 and 6 did when they were reported? Where they had really cheap-looking mobile game redone sprites?
No, I don't want that.
And gross touchscreen like UI?
No, I definitely
that will
don't
not
want
go
that.
away?
I definitely
That's
don't want
the problem
that.
with Final Fantasy IX. It still has that dumbass fucking cell phone port UI. Square, why are you bad?
Just do it better.
Hey, Toby, why is Square bad?
Tell us!
Because they don't do a good job porting.
That's right.
That'll do. Yes.
That's right.
Good.
Smart.
Way to listen, Tobes.
Good. You get a pat on the head, Toby.
Stop. Ow. Ow. Stop. You're headbutting me.
Well, it's
I don't have a hand.
It's his only option, Toby. So just take it, okay, bud?
Can I go now?
No, you can keep saying.
No. You're here. You're here now.
We need you to do something in a little bit, so just hang tight, okay? All right, well, that's great. Bayonetta 2.
Bayonetta 2.
Well, since no one came and visited me, which I'm going to have to remedy this. I'm going to have to remedy that. I am calling freak. But what I did, though, I'll revisit an old show that I watched just about a month ago now. Did I finish this? It took a long time. I watched it between... I watched it with different people. I watched some episodes with Scummy. I watched some episodes with Raj. I watched some episodes with Charlie and Stoney. Like, I kind of spread it out. But,
Did you see it with Travis? Have you seen Travis?
not lately.
He showed up, like, I want to say, like, 3 weeks ago, before we came here.
Yeah?
And he just opened a portal, and he waved his hand, he's like, watch Star Trek with me. And I said, no.
Because you're not a Star Trek.
I'm not a Star Trek guy.
I
I
know,
thought he
well-
would have called you.
Well, he probably should have. However, maybe it's because maybe him and Raj have had talks in the little interdimensional sort of time hoppy place where they go.
Oh, the Subspoos Boos.
Yeah, right. The
That place.
Spoos. And maybe Raj was kind of like, here, why don't you steer clear of Dawn, okay? He's sort of my thing, all right? And then Travis was probably like...
Travis was probably just like, nah.
He's going to show up eventually. I know he is.
wherever I like.
But it is funny, though, that you say that because, yes, Star Trek is what is the series that I watch. It's specifically Star Trek Voyager. And I know, obviously, Greg...
Which one's that?
Voyager was in the 90s. It started in 1995, and it ran until 2001.
That's a long time.
Yeah, 7 seasons. I think it was...
And a movie?
Not a movie for Voyager, just 7 seasons. The finale was a 2-part episode, though, so an hour and 20 minutes.
That's a movie.
Yes, you know how with Star Trek stuff, which often happens. But so it ran just about simultaneously with Deep Space Nine, which we've talked about. I know on the with you, Greg, I've talked about Star Trek Next Generation. I've talked about Deep Space Nine. Voyager is the third series of Star Trek that I have watched, and where it measures up to Next Generation and Deep Space Nine, it's probably, I thought it was the weakest. Voyager is a little bit... The plot...
Is that the one that starts out with like a cowboy intro? Or am I thinking of a different one?
I think that might be a different one. God, this one's...
It's like the screen's kind of brown. It gives me like a... It kind of reminds me of the main theme song of... What's the Nathan Fillion space cowboy?
Oh, Firefly.
Firefly, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's...
Take my wife, take my land, take my... and you'll understand. Away.
Yeah.
Take
No.
my wife away, please. I want to ride out. I want to play Bayonetta while no one's watching. I need to be free.
Yeah. No, it's not that. It's not
I
brown,
always
not
wondered what
Western.
the meaning of that theme song was.
the Firefly one?
Yeah, he's just like,
Free me from this pain.
It's marriage. That's what he's talking about. He's talking about just an unhappily married man. Yeah, and he's trying to be free.
Same.
So he goes to space. He goes to space.
wow.
But
So is that the story of all the characters of Voyager? Do they all go to space?
the story of Voyager is it's an exploratory vessel. The first mission, it's got a new captain played by Catherine Janeway is the name of the captain of Voyager. She's played by Kate Mulgrew. How well these shows do and how compelling they are is obviously it has to do with the writing, and it also has to do with the acting. In Next Generation, Picard, played by Patrick Stewart, and then Data with Brent Spiner, they do the most compelling acting. It's kind of similar in Voyager, where there's I want to say, of the 7 main crew members, maybe 8, there are probably 2, maybe 3 that I would call compelling actors that really sort of went, for instance, as you go through the series, you notice, before the credits play, they play a hook into the episode to let you know what the plot has to do with and kind of hook you into the structure of it. Every time I would start an episode and I would see that it was going to be a Janeway episode, or that it was going to be an episode about the Doctor, which is a hologram played by Robert Picardo. Every time I would...
A hologram?
A hologram Doctor, yes.
That's just stupid.
Well,
how does he perform surgery?
Well, I mean, he can physically grab stuff. It's he changes the
What's
parameters.
the point of him being a hologram then?
Well, they don't have a doctor.
We don't have a doctor, but we have this magic thing that can be a doctor.
Yeah, it's an emergency. It's an emergency medical program. EMH, emergency medical hologram.
Can the hologram fuck?
They deal with that in the show. Yeah.
Was it handled well?
I mean, it's tastefully subtle.
That doesn't sound like it was great.
It wasn't bad. There was nothing crazy about it. All right,
but did they go the extra mile? They're like, hey, let me suck off your zeros and ones.
The binary. Ooh, let's get binary with this. No, they didn't do that. But,
my Tesseract core is acting up. Blow it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, just to get me off, just pick up the cartridge and just blow right into it. Do you want your surgery or not? Listen, I'm like a Sega Genesis. Blow me. I got all. Yeah.
Is that how the episode went?
No,
I need these answers.
It's not. I
need these answers.
I thought you weren't a Star Trek guy, and here you are prompting me for all this information.
Because we got a magic hologram man.
I know. So, all right. So anyway, the plot of Voyager is this: Catherine Janeway, she gets her new crew. It's a brand new starship, fresh off the line.
It's a brand new Star Trek.
Brand new Star Trek.
Wow.
Brand new starship, right off the line. Their first mission is they're going to an area of the galaxy chasing these rebel. Former Starfleet members, and they're now part of a rebel faction called the Maquis. And the Maquis are they span all throughout the various Star Trek series, right? So Voyager's crew is going to the Maquis, and they're going to retrieve these people. Along the way, the first mission, their ship gets sort of manhandled by this a member of a species which is essentially like a god in terms of its powers and what it's able to do with like manipulating matter in space and all that kind of stuff. So it brings Voyager way across the galaxy, like 60,000 light years away from Earth, in order to help it do something. And so
So they're blackmailing the ship.
If you don't obey my deitic powers, I'll crush this ship like an aluminum can.
It doesn't even talk to them. It's all they just get
What?
swept up in this big wave, and the ship just gets blown across the galaxy. And then they end up outside of this giant structure, and they go in there and explore, and they find a being in there who is this godlike person, creature who brought them to this area in order to help with something that's
That
going on.
doesn't
with
sound
them.
very sci-fi. That just sounds fucking stupid.
Well, it's and what happens is after that, Voyager is stuck there. They have an opportunity, like, to try and to manipulate this god into sending them back, and Captain Janeway makes a decision, like, no, we have to save these people who are here, even if it means we're stuck here. And that's kind of a theme that goes throughout the entire show of Voyager, is that Janeway made a decision in the pilot episode, which effectively sort of, she did it to save a species of people that were being oppressed and, unknowingly controlled by this other species. So she's wanted to save them, but the cost was that her and her crew had no way to get back home after that. So now they got to traverse these 60,000 light years back to Earth in the Delta Quadrant, where no Starfleet vessel has explored before. So that's the plot of Voyager. They're just trying to make it home. In the pilot episode, they get blown way away from Earth.
This is the
and they're
Star
trying to make it
Trek
home.
equivalent of Gilligan's Island.
Exactly. Yes, there's or the Odyssey, right? Or kind of like that they're out and just trying to get home.
Do
and
magic
whatever.
mermaids sing at them, and they have to sacrifice several members?
Bunch of stuff happens.
Do they
Some
ride the
crazy
river
shit.
Styx?
They ride the river's dicks.
Do they kill a Cyclops?
They fight the Borg.
Do they fight the one-eyed monster?
Everyone fights the one-eyed monster eventually. So the thing with Voyager is that, like I said, Captain Janeway, Kate Mulgrew, is a compelling actor. So the episodes where it's focused on the captain, she's good. But when I compare Voyager to the other Star Treks, Next Generation and Deep Space Nine, which are, again, like the only ones that I've seen, but when I compare them to those two, Deep Space Nine, I mentioned to you, Greg, that it's like streaky, but like once you get through kind of like the first couple of bad seasons, and then it hits a stride, and it's like a constant upward trajectory from there. It hits this thing, and just every episode it builds on itself, and it's all good. Voyager fluctuates. You'll have a great, high-quality episode followed by a real piece of shit, like a real stinker, where you're like, oh my god.
So it'd be a lot of two-parters where either the beginning is tight and the closure is terrible, or vice versa?
The two-parters are actually pretty consistently good. The two-parters in Voyager, if you're going through it, any one of the two-parters are kind of a good place to start with it. But no, it's more like it's all the standalones. One standalone will be, and Season 2 is what I'm thinking of specifically. The show kind of starts stronger, certainly stronger than Deep Space Nine. It gives you a little bit of a hook, you're interested in the characters, whatever. Season 2 really fluctuates in quality. Like, Episode 5, let's say, was amazing, and then Episode 6 was, like, laughably bad, or vice versa. So it's not like two halves of one episode, two standalones, but there's no rhyme or reason to, like, the consistent quality of it, So it's kind of hard to be like, oh, this season overall was really good. I want to say the best season for me was probably Season 4, because they got rid of one character, one regular recurring member of the crew, and they brought on a new one. And the way that ends up...
How'd they do that? We hologrammed him in.
The new one is a member of the Borg, actually. Like, little spoiler alert if you care, but
oh my god, how will I ever live with myself for not knowing about Star Trek?
Hey, maybe you don't care about spoilers, but somebody might. So I'm just putting it out there.
I can't believe I've been spoiled about this 20-year-old show.
just saying. But so one of their new member comes from the Borg. They go out in space. They have a run-in with the collective, and one of the beings that they meet, one of the drones that they come in contact with.
It's a sweet boy.
It's a former human young woman named 7 of 9, played by Jerry Ryan, and she does a good job. She's unrealistically hot, like without question the hottest like female that's ever been on a Star Trek show, and they do not in the plot do they sexualize her, but simply every episode
All the shots
with her uniform.
Yeah,
Everyone
so
else
they're doing like making sure that like her chest is in frame, or she's like, I have to grab this Spartan plug.
No, it's not that bad. It's more that everyone else wears a Starfleet uniform, which is just like pajamas.
And she wears a brassiere and a spike collar.
She wears a skin tight like leotard almost. Like it's not a Starfleet uniform. It's like it's a leotard. So it's completely form fitting. Doesn't look like anything else anyone's wearing on the ship, and it's just because like she has a ridiculous body. Like it's ridiculous. But
listen, guys, we have to really take advantage of this situation.
do you know who watches the show? Fucking nerds, man.
You know what nerds are? Lonely.
Get some tits on the screen right now.
No.
So so that aside, like I said, like there's that element of sexualizing. But to your point, Greg, like they don't do that with the plot. Like the camera's not excluding her face in favor of her
camera's
breasts.
not a creepy fucking neckbeard dude
Right.
just going like,
Whoa, what
Right,
are those?
you hear like heavy.
No, my
breathing.
mom had those.
Right, it's not that, and she's not doing things like, oh, let me bend over here, and she actually,
Oh no, someone dropped the plugs.
I'm gonna
I'll
have
get
to
them.
get it.
and she's not like the ditzy dumb girl.
No. As a Borg, she's like incredibly intelligent. Like she, a lot of the time, and she's also sort of, I don't want to say inhuman, but she kind of is. Like she's
Yeah, she's a Borg. She's
Yeah.
she's not a people.
Yeah, she has no personality when she comes onto the ship. She's very, sort of rude, unintentionally. Yeah, combative. She doesn't mean to be, but that's part of. And then
She
Janeway
probably smells like armpit.
probably smells like equipment, like metallic Borg parts.
Oh,
Probably,
I don't know what Borgs are.
but they're like robot people, like cyborgs. Scary, like cyborgs.
Like me?
Even scarier. Some of them have sharp
That's not
teeth.
true.
Yes, it is true.
That's not fucking true.
They're freaky, man.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And well, it also because it's like
I'm
they're-
the scariest.
They're all they have shaved heads, and they have like all these like ocular implants, and they're like way more machine than just 2 limbs. They're like 90% machine.
I have to step it up, is what you're saying.
If we meet Borg, I would be curious to see which of you is, if you could do a side by side.
me,
I hope so. I'm rooting for you.
Toby,
I'm
who's
pulling for you.
scarier, me or a Borg?
Borg?
That's the right answer, Toby.
No, it is not.
Oh no! No! No, we're done. We're done. No, stop! Don't beat us. No, we're not causing a disturbance.
Ow!
We're not causing a disturbance.
It's fine. We're fine. He's
Ow.
fine. You're fine, aren't you, Toby? You're fine, aren't you, Toby?
He's fine.
Can't feel my leg.
That was the case before too, so he's fine.
Some guy came here with a barbell with a bear trap on it and hit him in the leg. Simple as that.
So thanks for beating us for nothing.
Yeah, dick.
Oppression.
Ow!
Go away. Anyway, yeah, but just real, what I would say, comparatively with Voyager is that like I said, Kate Mulgrew does a great job. Robert Picardo playing the Doctor. One of the things I noticed about this series of Voyager, the acting varies so widely. One of the characters, Harry Kim, played by Garrett Wang, and what's one of the funny things that as I was reading into the background of the show, in 97, so 3 years in here, they were going to they wanted to get Jerry Ryan into the show to play the Borg, to be the recurring character. So they were going to cut out Harry Kim. They were going to cut Garrett Wang. He was going to go, and Jerry Ryan was going to come in. But in 1997, Garrett Wang was selected as he was named one of the world's 100 most beautiful people by People magazine.
Oh.
And so they ended up parting with another character, and they kept Harry Kim on the cast.
All right, who's the next ugliest on the list? You!
You're gone. But the reason I bring up Harry Kim is because he really is not. He's not they try and make him a compelling character. They try and develop the character, but he's not a good actor. and everything they try and push on him, like the writers, it just falls flat. Every time there was like an anchor scene with Harry Kim, I literally could have gotten up and like did the dishes while he was talking because it's just not compelling stuff. And so for me, there were moments through the series where I was like, this is laughably bad. Harry Kim to me is like, I would use that as an example.
Just textbook beautiful but dumb person.
Yeah, exactly. And they try and again, like there's good character development in a lot of Star Trek shows, but what they tried to do with Harry Kim was just a failure of that. But so Harry Kim's like an example of a bad actor. Garrett Wang, like not good. Any episodes with Janeway, any episodes that were focused on the Doctor, Kate Mulgrew or Robert Picardo, while you have Garrett Wang over here being a shit show of acting, Robert Picardo as the Doctor, there were episodes where he was acting with himself as on a green screen, playing two different characters, and those episodes are more compelling than like some
Wait,
of
what?
the...
He's playing like a clone of his own hologram?
The source for his holograms programming. The guy, there's a real Starfleet doctor that they based the physical protocol of the EMH off of.
Doesn't that sound kind of fucked? Doesn't that sound really fucked that they're like, hey, you're a government-issued doctor. We're going to copy your entire being and turn it into, like, a sellable doctor.
Yeah, and he volunteered for it according to the show. He made the program. And so he based
Good for him.
He based it totally on himself, like physically, yeah.
So he's just playing himself going, maybe we should use the syringes. Yes, that sounds like a good idea.
It's
yes.
significantly more compelling than
No,
that.
that's the hologram character, right? That's how he talks. Yes. I'm going to duplicate myself 7 times.
Sure.
And you can feel me.
And he does, and then they go on the holodeck.
As long as we're all in vicinity of my my router.
Right, yeah, and that's another thing that they deal with. Over the course of the show, he's trapped in sickbay because he's just a hologram.
Is there an episode where they pick up the router and then he goes outside and he's like, grass.
They go... grass, lovely.
Birds.
No,
Then he eats a bird. He's like, I don't know what to do with these.
Ow! No, and then again, another spoiler alert. Later, they go into the future and they get some technology which allows the Doctor a mobile emitter. It allows him to walk around the ship because he puts on a little patch and his program is self-contained in there and projects.
Slow
itself.
down. Reverse. Time travel?
Oh yeah, time travel's a big thing in Star Trek.
What the fuck is with this series?
Dude, come on, man. Get out. There's time travel. They have a temporal prime directive. Time travel is so prevalent, they have a prime directive on how to handle time travel. Specifically, the number one rule of what not to do.
Oh, fuck, I dropped my jar of pickles. Oh, my pickles aren't dropped anymore. Is that what people would use time travel for?
It's along those lines.
It's essentially like a redo button, like, whoops, I put a knife in my hand. Whoop it. Now I don't.
Just kidding. Learn that lesson. Yeah, no, they're not.
I learned that the hard way.
They're not supposed to do stuff like that. Yeah, they're not supposed.
Then what's the point of time travel?
If they do time travel, they're not supposed to fuck with anything. They're not supposed to talk to anybody. They're not supposed to like do anything.
Then why would they do it? Why would they make time travel?
It's a great question. It's a debate. It's up for debate. It's a heavily
there should be a debate
topic.
on it. There's already a problem with it.
It's time travel.
When you time travel, the first thing you do is fuck with things.
Fix your mistake.
And how many times with these time travel episodes did they change something?
Every time. They have to.
Yeah, so you know what? Star Trek,
whether
your
intentionally or unintentionally.
Your philosophies on time travel can eat a dick.
Fuck your temporal prime directive. You can stick that shit in the microwave.
Here's something temporal. I dropped a jar of pickles, and now I'm going to change it to not being dropped.
Clausen, I like sweet, but now they're due.
All right, I'm going to reverse time now.
Wow, great pickles, Greg.
Thanks.
These are so good.
I saved these just in the nick of time, if you know what I mean.
Oh,
have you been fucking with the temporal time system again?
Delicious.
And then a dinosaur just walks outside.
No, I haven't done that. Yeah, that's Voyager though.
Wow, impressive.
As I said, compared to the Next Generation and Deep Space Nine, I think Voyager's the weakest. Greg, like what I've told you about Star Trek, the thing that I like about it is sort of the writing and the philosophical debates that sprout from them getting into a scenario that like we would never get into because we're not, quote unquote traveling through space and experiencing new alien life forms. And
Also, we're two horrible people who don't
with
really
no
give
morals.
a shit.
We have no moral
I know, I
center.
don't.
Yeah, no qualms about ethics.
What do you
like
think
that.
about this situation? I don't fucking know. Do I get free snack cakes when I go to this thing?
Whatever's best for me, that's what I think.
Yeah, there's only one thing on my mind. Me.
Eat that dick. So, but with Voyager, though, so what I like about the Star Trek stuff is the philosophical debates. There was one episode of Voyager, it's pretty early on, it's like halfway through season 2, I think. 2 of the recurring cast members take a transporter to a planet, and as they're transporting back to the ship, the transporter malfunctions and combines the 2 crew members to form a new person. So the 2 crew members...
So it's like a Digimon.
Yes, Tuvok and Neelix become Tuvix. Tuvix. That's literally the name. Tuvix. And it's a Vulcan, a black dude playing a Vulcan, and this tiny little white guy playing not a Tesseract. What's it called? Talaxian. That's what he is. And it's Tuvix. Becomes Tuvix.
For the rest of the show?
For the rest of the episode. But this is what happens. Then the debate. So at first they come back on the thing, and it's a combined person, and it's a weird looking dude too. Obviously,
Is it just split down the middle? It's like one of the actors the other?
No, it's like a mix. It's a totally new actor playing because he looks strange.
Sounds stupid.
It's disturbing. It's
I hate this.
It's a little disturbing. But this is what happens with the debate. At first, it seems like an immediate fix. They're like, oh well, we just have to send them back to the planet and fix the transporter and separate them.
Yeah,
again.
we just have to find God and fix this. Fix our mistakes.
We just have to fix the mistake.
This science show about talking to God.
The problem is, Tuvix goes, oh yeah, that sounds great, except I don't want to die. Tuvix is a new person. You know what I mean? And it becomes a debate about, do you save the 2 original lives, or is this new life to be discounted because you want the old guys back? And that is what the show, that's what that episode deals with. This mistake led to a new life, and the captain has to decide whether or not to restore it to the original 2 or to keep Tuvix as he is. Obviously, spoiler alert, they decide to go back to the original 2 because those are the 2 actors and not the guest star who plays Tuvix. But that's the kind of debate and stuff that they have. So that was... What? You seem disturbed. You seem perplexed by this.
I hate this.
Your mouth is in a complete upside down U. Just perplexed.
What?
You know what that is? You know what you hate? It's the sound of your brain expanding. It's the sound of your. It's the sound of your.
No, it's
the feeling of your mind growing.
It's the sound of my brain cells crumpling up and dying.
It's only because you're malnourished. That's why.
No, it's because I'm being malnourished from this dumbass fucking show.
And this is also, for the record, this is my description of it. If you were to maybe give it a chance, maybe it would be good.
Nah, I think your Spark Notes already gave me a fucking answer.
But if you're gonna do it, as I've said, if you're looking to get into Star Trek, Voyager's not the way to go. Do Deep Space Nine or The Next Generation. I would highly recommend those above Voyager. Voyager is a show for those who are already bitten by the Star Trek bug.
These are for people who have been infected with nerddom.
Yes, that's me.
This is for people who are part of the problem.
The problem. Yes, so many sweet problems.
Yes, this show
It's
brought
good.
the worst of nerd kind. Well, Star Wars might have done that more. I don't know. They're both equal. It's just that one dominated TV and the other dominated silver screens.
Yeah, right. Understandably too. And I mean, yeah, it's like they've both spun off and they've become their different things.
They've
but
spun off into very dumb things that people don't really like talking about, except
the thing that bothers me about them though is that it's like there are the fans separate themselves into 2 different camps, and it's tribal. People are like vice versa.
yeah.
I am sitting here as like a fan of both, and they're different. I like them for different reasons.
People who still do that shit are just
ridiculous.
sad.
It's ridiculous. It's a stupid grasp at tribalism, and I get people to feel that.
It's
but
literally the same thing as the DC and Marvel boys. It's like a majority of people I know like both.
Exactly.
And honestly,
be real. They're
let's
the
be
same.
real. Let's take a step back. They're fucking comic books.
They're
man.
comic books, and just like this, these are movies and TV shows. Like, what's the fucking big deal? but I like them for
I
different
don't
reasons.
want those others involved in our Star Trek.
The neighborhood is ruined thanks to them.
Yeah. So I get that.
They put on their Yoda ears and ruined my kid's ballet recital.
They mess up their sentences and they talk all weird for that idiot Grouch. Yeah, no, it's no, and then. But like with Star Trek, like it, like I said, Star Wars is fantasy. Star Trek is much more on the sci-fi thing.
It's 100% sci-fi, except when God's involved.
Well, but that's why, like I said, they overlap into each other's territories. Like there are sci-fi elements of Star Wars,
Star Force.
and then there are obviously fantasy elements of Star Trek too. But so my just to kind of wrap this up is that Voyager, as I've said, unless you're already into Star Trek, Voyager, it's not for you. It's just kind of, like I've said, it's a little weaker than the other ones that I've watched, and it fluctuates greatly in terms of the quality from episode to episode. But if you are going through it, and if you're going to, the episodes that focus on the captain, Janeway, and then the Doctor, those are the strong ones. You can usually count on those to be entertaining.
Wow.
But yeah, that's what I did. So I went through some Star Trek again.
Yep, so those are our recommendations, Bayonetta 2 and Star Trek Voyager. Mm-hmm. Check them out if you want.
If you feel so inclined.
Crap, they're making us go back to ourselves.
Yeah, our time is up over here, so we gotta hide this equipment before it's time to...
All right, Toby, we need your thing.
What thing?
Open up, big boy.
Come here. Open up. We call you our human suitcase for a reason.
Do it. Do it. Hurry up, the guy's coming. All right, this has been great. Thank you very much for visiting. As always, we will talk to you next week.
Bye.
What you just heard was a fantasy, a fiction, cooked up for your amusement and the catharsis of the hosts. Please, have mercy on them.